During my Bible study, I have learned a lot about the genetical problems. So, genetical problems are things that are there to stay, as in they pass from one generation to the other. One of them, for example, when we read from the book of Genesis, a lot has been said about the generation of the descendants of Jesus. And this started with Abraham. We are all aware that Sarai stayed for many years before getting a child. So she conceived when she was 90 years. And then Abraham was 100 years. So that's a span of 10 years. But they waited for the child for 25 years since God promised. Initially, Abraham thought that it is just normal that, God has not blessed them, but God promised them that in as much as they have not given birth to any child, his descendants will be like the sand of the lake and also the stars of the sky. So they waited for 25 years. I saw this also followed Rebecca. Rebecca got married and she stayed for many years without a child. She gave birth when she was 60 years. We also saw this in Rahel, the second wife to Jacob. Rahel also stayed for long before she could conceive. Now, looking at this, you see that it is something that is generational curse that was following this family. Again, I was reading much in Genesis still, when Jacob, took the birth order or birthright for Esau. And later, when Jacob went to Egypt, where Joseph was, and when he was about to die, Joseph went to visit them because they stayed in one area in Egypt as per the request of, when what Pharaoh recommended and Joseph also requested. So when Joseph went to visit his father Jacob when he was about to die, he went with his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. So Manasseh was the firstborn to Joseph, and then Ephraim was second child. Do you know when Jacob wanted to bless Joseph, he prayed for Joseph, and then he told Joseph to bring his two sons to be blessed. And Jacob laid his hands on Ephraim instead of Manasseh. And Joseph did not take it lightly. He removed Jacob's hands on the head of Ephraim to take to Manasseh. But Jacob said, I know what I'm doing. And he actually returned his hand on Ephraim. So you see now the birthright for Manasseh was interchanged at the time of blessing when their grandfather Jacob wanted to die. What am I trying to say in short? If you have a problem in your marriage, it is important to find out if this issue is from your family or the family of the husband. Because it is good to pray, but you cannot pray without knowing the source of the problem. It is very important. So this one you can know through interacting with your mother-in-law or the family of your husband, or even from your own family if it's coming from your family. But you can also go into prayer and fasting, and God can actually reveal to you a lot. because our God knows all our history, even things that our grandmothers and our mother-in-laws doesn't know. So any woman should trust in God, especially Christian women. Please don't just go to church because people are going to church. Seek God's guidance. If you have a problem that you are seeing is denying you peace, pray to God to open for you the source of this problem, so that when you are praying, you pray over the source, so that if it is like, let's say an example of a tree, then is like you remove all the roots of this tree through prayers and fasting. Because Jesus said that there are some problems that can be solved through that just normal prayer. But there are problems that you must pray and fast for them to move. So I'm urging all my fellow women that when you are faced with some problems, even if it is problem ya hiro kidogo, ukiongeleshwa tu kidogo, you think about sijui I want to step aside. I will leave you with that woman so that you enjoy. And I told you the other day that nowadays the men of today, you don't try them, that I will leave you so that you continue with that other woman. Know that that woman is also a rib like you. And there is no older rib than the other. They are all created ones. So you have to look for the source of the problem, so that when you are praying, you pray knowing that you are praying over what? Who else has been affected with the same, so that ukate hiyo generational curse from you, so that isi-affect hata watoto wako. So that is what I am saying. So we see that jealousy was so bad in the Bible that Sarah had made her also to die early. And Rahel also had a lot of jealousy with Leah. Because now Leah, the Bible is written that when Leah, God saw that Leah was undermined by Jacob because she was not that beautiful, then God decided to give Leah so many children. Now Rahel did not have children. So then every time she was crying like a baby, thinking that, taking advantage of the love that Jacob had for her. But that also made her life to be cut short. I'm not saying that women cannot die, God forbid. But there are things or circumstances that lead to early death. So one of the things that I want to prevent from you for you is these issues of pressure na ulcer, simply because your husband is moving out. There are 14 ribs, all of them are equal measure. They are the ones who knows who is better than who. So you may be struggling here thinking that you are the best because of your outside beauty, na kumbe tabia yako imewachosha mpaka wanatamani waishi juu ya roof. Na hawana sara. Ni shida tu yenye huwa nawaambia, ukishafanya hivyo, si unajua tu baadaye utakuwa wapi? Utazoeka na utarudi nyumbani. Ukirudi nyumbani, is there anything that you left at home? So let's also take care of ourselves. It is not easy to live in a polygamous relationship, and even cheating is too expensive, and it's not easy to cheat. So you better live comfortably and live a life that you are able to afford, and live a life that is able to leave you with your peace of mind. Asanteni sana. For more information on this and more teachings of the same, follow us on our Facebook page, Christian Family Life with Rosalina. We are also on Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. Asanteni sana.